Michigan and Arizona, and to an extent against Chattanooga, how underwhelming that ended up looking like for Auburn last week in Atlanta. A lot of it came down to the fact that Auburn's guards have not done what they needed to do on defense. Here's the thing. This team is not last year's team. We knew that. You knew that coming in anyway. Even if you had a fully healthy Keyshawn Murphy, if you had an available Emeka Oporum to give you added cover at center, you knew that this team was going to be on the smaller side. And you had a very special front court these last few seasons. You don't have that anymore. You knew that going in. But I want to go back to the spring and the summer and the preseason, even before Bruce Pearl stepped down and Stephen Pearl stepped up as the new head coach at Auburn. You want to go back to what Auburn said about this team going in. And it was, if we're going to be smaller and we don't have as much bulk up front, we have got to be more disruptive with our defense. And in the Arizona game, in the Michigan game, in the Chattanooga game, in others that we've seen this season, Auburn has not been disruptive enough on defense. I said last week against Chattanooga, third lowest turnover percentage for an Auburn defense in the last decade in a game. The other two were losing to Duke last year on the road and getting blown out by Miami in the NCAA tournament a few years back. This Auburn team has got to create some havoc. They've got to press up. They have got to get turnovers, force stops that way, winning at the guard spots, because Purdue is huge. They have a 7'4" guy that plays at center. TKR, Trey Kaufman-Rand, is not gigantic. He is 6'9", but he's 6'9", 240, and he's probably the best pure inside scorer, at least if not in the Big Ten, one of the best in the country. They got Oscar Clough, the transfer from South Dakota State. He was one of the most efficient players in all of college basketball last season and has fit in like a glove there. They are big up front. Auburn knew that. Michigan was huge up front. Arizona was huge up front. Okay, what does Auburn do? And everybody's going to point to, right? Everybody's going to point to, well, you got to be better down low. Well, you got to have that side. And look, can Auburn play better up front on defense? Absolutely. They're going to have to. But more importantly, I think the Arizona game was a huge example of this. And you saw traces of it against Chattanooga last week. Auburn's guards have to do a better job being the first line of defense. Because if Purdue can run their stuff effectively and easily, they're going to get shots. They're going to get opportunities to get to the basket. They're going to dump it into those guys, and it's just lights out once they get that close to the basket. This is the number one offense in the country on KenPom. They're good. Don't let them have coast and be good. You have to do more defensively. And Stephen Pearl said it this week when I asked him about it. But the defense is you're just going to have to be more aggressive. You got to err on the side of aggressiveness, because if you sit back and you're more passive on defense, especially in that backcourt,